War. War never changes.
Are you ready now?
Yes. Say goodbye, Toto. Yes, I'm ready now.
Then close your eyes and tap your heels together 3 times. And think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
And welcome to the final episode of that podcast, at least until Fallout 4 comes out.
That's right.
I mean, that could be a while away, though.
Actually, there's no defined schedule for that as far as I can tell.
Not that I know of, no. We have with us Austin again. Say hi, Austin.
Hi.
And we're going to wrap up Lonesome Road, and I guess this podcast for a good long while, so thank you everybody for joining us on our adventures in the wastes.
Yep, and thanks for all the nice comments on the Facebook page and in the iTunes report and reviews.
Yes, definitely. It really kept us going, you know, especially when the DLCs weren't that great. The fact that you guys wanted us to keep going, and, you know, there weren't really any alternatives to anybody talking about playing the game.
And whatever could you mean there?
Well, we've had a lot of fun making this podcast, and we've said it before, we're going to be doing Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I don't see how we could possibly not do a Fallout 4 if it ever comes out. Maybe James will die from a heart attack by then. I don't know.
More likely you'll have a glucose overload.
Yeah, but you don't die from those, so it's all good. Well,
if we'd been thinking, we would have done a Deus Ex podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit of a linear game, though. You don't really get many choices apart from what augmentations you pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Great game, that one. Really enjoyed Deus Ex Human Revolution. Did you play that, Austin?
Can't say I have.
Oh, where's that hang up button? Okay, so Lonesome Road. Apparently, we're meant to find a home. Ulysses, you're insane. You're mad. You're nuts. I don't understand a darn thing you're saying to me.
Actually, if you get all of his recordings, he makes even less sense.
I know. He's crazy. And even at the very end, when I've convinced him not to fire the missile and I turned the thing off.
Okay, so that's how you did it. You decided
that's how
to go that route.
That's how I did it. And I sacrificed Edie to do it, though I think there might have been a way to get away with not sacrificing Edie, now that I've explored a bit more. Even after all that, you know, he sits at the entrance to the divide, and, you know, you talk to him and he still speaks gibberish. Even his final recording to you speaks gibberish.
Yeah, I listened to that once I got out of the divide and back to the wastes, and it was like the rantings of a guy who'd had too little to drink.
I don't know. I guess they're trying to pretend that couriers are the U.S. Postal Service, bringing the communities together, but
kind of an allusion to the postman, if you ask me, but not that clear.
Yeah, and it really doesn't work that way either, because delivering post is not going to stop the Legion or the NCR.
No, not even the Brotherhood in their weak state.
No, it certainly having a strong personality that can start an idea makes a lot of sense. But what was really interesting to me was to the end, Ulysses was Caesar's man, and I had thought that through all of his journeying and everything that he had done, especially listening to his tapes, that he was no longer Caesar's man.
Yeah, but he still was. I mean, all of his talk about history and the old world and the new world, and then he's still going with the misogynistic whack job.
Yeah, I'll nuke the NCR, or I'll nuke the Lone 15, or...
Right.
Yeah, crazy guy. I probably should have just put him down, because Oh well, he's a broken man now in my version, so that works too.
Okay, so is he a broken man in your version? I thought he died when the whole thing caves in on itself.
Oh no, he escaped with me. I got him out.
Oh, you got him out. I just let him die in there.
No, you know that final fight you were telling us about, Austin? You were saying, yeah, you'll need a lot of stim packs.
I just put on a stealth boy and watched the fun.
I just stood there and watched the fun. I would take pot shots at the occasional guy, but I didn't use a single stim pack at all in the final fight.
Well, I put on a stealth boy, and then I knocked it. It turns out there's some warheads in that room. So if you take out your laser detonator, you can take out half the crew with those warheads.
Yes,
That's probably why I needed all the stim packs, because I was taking those out.
Well, down the stairs, there are all these laser trip mines. They're really annoying. But at the end of them, there are machines for iBots, which I can't use now that the finale is over, but I think maybe there might have been an iBot to be used in there to save Edie. Especially since I've got all of Edie's upgrades. Seems like such a waste.
That's how you keep the iBots from spawning.
Oh, if they're against you, if you're fighting... Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were meant to sacrifice them if you want to save everybody's lives.
Okay, so which way did you go on it, Austin? Did you fight Ulysses and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I walked up to him, told him to hell with you, started shooting him, had a fight, and then I nuked everybody.
Interesting choice. So you're playing a house game then.
So basically you played the horse you rode in on ending.
So hey, here was something interesting. There's a reference to the Lone 15, and if you nuke NCR, you're nuking the Lone 15.
Yeah.
Can you go to the Lone 15 if you've nuked it? Because I can't go there. It doesn't exist for me.
Yeah, if you nuke it, the gate at Mojave Outpost takes you there, and there's a bunch of ghoul troopers and heavy troopers. And there's this one colonel there that has a unique set of armor that you can take. It's like the tribal power armor from the pit. It's like that with like a sash on it.
So
and there's also a
so
unique.
what you've done in the last part actually impacts how the Mojave is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you walk out, there's explosions everywhere from the missiles going off.
All the nukes that the Mojave never got. Now, does Vegas end up getting whacked or not?
No, because you're in the Lone 15.
Yeah, that's the closest. And right across the Colorado, if you nuke the Legion, there's a unique version of the Legate's armor on one of the generals there.
Okay.
If you kill him.
Now, so if you nuke the Legion, does that impact the final battle with the Legate at all?
I haven't tried it yet because there's no continue after ending, but I was planning on doing that eventually.
I don't think that there would be because when you get to that final ending, the reinforcements have already arrived. But maybe it does stop the reinforcements from coming. That would be really interesting.
You would think that it should impact the speech option. Something like, dude, your whole army is dead behind you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I nuked you. Do you really want to stick around and fight me still again?
Not to mention that I took a sniper rifle to your whole camp and killed Caesar, so who's left?
Finding all of the warheads is a bit annoying.
Okay, so you did find all of them.
I did find all of them.
I did too.
It came down to one last one, and I had to check every area. Got it. So going back after it's over, the death claws have moved in, so I went and got the alien blaster because it was just nuts.
Oh, that's what your comment in Skype is about.
Yeah.
What was my comment in Skype?
Something about the damned death claws.
Yeah, they're just freaking everywhere. And I discovered that in this particular playthrough, I hadn't actually gotten the alien blaster yet. So that was interesting. I had to go back there and get that, and then came back and yeah, it's just death claws everywhere. Anywhere that there was marked men, there's death claws now, pretty much.
Really? So what, they all decided to bug out after you left?
Well, I think it's more alluded to the fact that the marked men were doing experiments on death claws. There was a note about that the NCR had commented on at some point.
Okay.
And with the marked men gone, the death claws ran free.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't actually find that note, I guess.
The Courier's Mile, did you go there yet?
No,
Yeah.
that was the one place I didn't go, so go ahead and explain that to me.
That's the place you nuked from the nuclear launch.
Oh, okay.
and there are 2 death claws there and a whole bunch of marked men. Now, this is the only place in the game where radiation plays a massive factor. I sat there with a stealth boy and a stealth pistol, shot a marked man in the head until I had to reload. He lost maybe 4 or 5 hit points, but almost immediately healed, completely back full health from the radiation. And because this place had been nuked, he was souped up on radiation. So I went balls to the walls and climbed up a piece of cement and started zapping everything with my Tesla coil. And there's 2 mini nukes there as well.
Maybe I'll avoid it now.
If you're level 50, there's more than 2 death claws there.
Yeah, I was about to say there's 2 by the nuke, but I faced off a lot of them. Why? Do you saying the level changes how much you face?
Yeah, I got I think it was 5 marked men after me and like 10 death claws. I was like trapped in a corner.
Yeah,
just blasting.
My time return to the fight, I was level 50, and there's just heaps of stuff everywhere. I used probably about a third of the alien blaster ammo going through it all again to find these nukes. The super Deathclaw, Rar, he took 5 alien blaster hits to the face before he died.
Great.
You can make a Deathclaw gauntlet out of his hand if you have a high enough
only Deathclaw gauntlet you can make in New Vegas. But you need to have your unarmed skill all the way up to do it.
Yeah, I can't make it. I'm level 50 and my unarmed's like 20.
I suspect that Ulysses might be able to craft it. If he's still alive, you can go talk to him and you can craft really unique stuff.
Darn it.
Yeah, really, really stuff I'd never seen before. I can't remember what stuff I got off him, but there was some super stimpack, super stimpack thing that I made with him.
So at the very end, when you meet Ulysses finally, you can talk him down, which I did.
90 speech, yep.
Yep. So you need 90 speech. It's not even as tough as talking down Oliver or the Legate. You need 100 for them. So you only need 90 for him.
But you still need to be very careful what you say to him because he doesn't suffer fools.
Right. But you can talk him down, and I didn't find that all that difficult. But then, it sounds like you can save him or you can leave him there. I mean, he agreed to join me in the fight against the marked men, but I didn't see any option to have him come out. What did you do to get him to come out?
Did you let him die or something?
Well, he seemed like he was going to go down with the ship, and I just didn't argue with him.
We'll kill everyone, then he won't go down with the ship.
Okay, well, like I said, I put on a stealth boy and just watched the action for the most part.
Yeah, that might have been your problem right there.
Well, I wasn't all that concerned with his health.
So in the end, now, it's a very short DLC.
Yes, it's shorter than any of the others, I think.
Yeah, it very, very short. Iconic, definitely memorable, unlike Dead Money or Honest Hearts.
Now, if you want to go back to another game in terms of shortness, it kind of reminds me time-wise with the Witch Hunt in Dragon Age Origins, although much better ending than that thing gave you.
Yeah. So in the end, I've now uninstalled Fallout New Vegas from my computer. It felt really weird. I've done it all. It's all done. I've been everywhere. I've done everything. I've got room for Skyrim now. I have plenty of room on there anyway. But it was really strange to click delete local content in Steam after having it there for so long, and it was there for so long because of the DLC. So that really does put an interesting spin on how long and how often do you come back to a game. I suspect Skyrim is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the game. I played Mass Effect 2, for instance, many times because but I finally went through it on the what is it? I guess it's the Insanity setting. And when I got through it on Insanity, I was just done. I was just done.
Well, what about Deus Ex? See, they're going to bring out DLC for that, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I don't know. Once I get through it on the hardcore setting and having gone through the whole thing as pacifist, I as far as I can tell, I'll be done with that game too because I'll have done everything.
Yeah, I've uninstalled that. I'm done with that. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas has lasted a very long time. Money's worth way up there. The DLC's a bit iffy. I think Game of the Year edition is going to be worth it money-wise. for people who haven't played it. Of course, if you're listening to this podcast now, thinking about buying Game of the Year edition, we've pretty much spoiled everything that you could possibly do in this game.
You already know everything about the game.
But you should still play it. I read somewhere that spoilers do not just break the story, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, that H&H nail gun, I love it, but it just doesn't do much damage.
Well, I didn't even pick it up, but I was amused by it.
There's a lot of nails around the place. I did use it a few times when I was desperate.
So anybody have any final thoughts on Fallout New Vegas or the DLC?
I like the armor Ulysses gives you at the end. Your own trench coat.
Yeah, I'm wearing his because his is colorful. He gives me that as well. Gave me that as well. And the rebreather is the best anti-radiation thing I've come across in the game. But it bugged out of me. Like I would put it on and it would take all my other clothes off. It's like a headpiece only. It's not meant to be a whole body. And
apparently, it's like a hospital gown. You have to reveal everything.
So I was using that in the Courier's Mile because there's very high radiation there.
Well, that's pretty much, I think, the story of the DLC. I think we've pretty much wrapped the whole DLC and the game up. Yeah.
Final thoughts on the game? Loved it.
Good filler between 3 and 4.
I don't know. I think that it stands on its own pretty well. I would call it a 4. I don't know why they wouldn't call it a 4. I think they just want to upgrade the game engine. And if the Radiant story stuff in Skyrim is as good as it sounds like, then Fallout 4 will be amazing.
Yeah, and I've definitely invested hundreds of hours in this game, so it was well worth the money I spent on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you bought it twice for PC and for Xbox.
And I've played it through multiple times on both.
And all the DLC on both as well, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Well, I travel every other week to Dallas, so, it's...
Well, Austin, what do you actually play it on?
Well, I got it on Xbox when it came out, so I've done a lot on the Xbox. And so I got tired of the game, so I got it on the computer so I could play mods. So.
Yeah. Modding, I think, I was never a big fan of the modding in Fallout 3 or New Vegas, to be honest. The adding new content didn't feel good. No one really put in effort to make quests at all. But the occasional thing like the weather and the new radio stations, they added to the feel of the game. The extra grass mod. We had an episode on mods before. Those were well worth it. And I think, the developers should take note of those particular things and make sure they're in the next game.
Actually, you know how there's MREs in Lonesome Road?
Yep.
When the game first came out, someone made an MRE mod, and so they pretty much ripped him off and used it in the Lonesome Road.
That's weird because MREs were pretty darn useless. They gave you very little health quite slowly. You could stack a lot of them, and I would use them when I was in peaceful areas to regain that little bit of health back. But on the whole, they were a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you need any energy weapon ammunition, there's a few crates of that lying around.
A few, yeah, just a few.
And the fact that Edie can construct that stuff for you after you upgrade him, it's like, why? I don't need this. Just keep it for yourself. How your arc welder or something, I don't care.
Well, it might come in handy if you've done what I did in one game where I wipe out the Silver Rush.
That's not that big of a place.
No, but it means you can't buy any more stuff there.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I always do. When I get the free size, go kill them.
For all their stuff?
Yeah, I can sell it at gun runners and make a killing.
After making a killing, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would.
Well, Gunrunners doesn't sell energy weapons, right?
Right, I like the anti-material rifle. It just costs a lot.
Yeah.
I hate getting shot by that thing. Some guy cloaked off into the distance, going pop, pop, pop at you. You have no idea where they are.
Some nice ammo they added to Lonesome Road was more mini nukes, because there was only 11 in the original game.
Yeah, I ran across a cache of them, but I wasn't carrying a Fat Man, so it was like, okay, I don't know what good this will do me.
I never carry a Fat Man around in New Vegas. I did in Fallout 3. I actually used the what was it, the Merv, the one that shot like 4 of them at once?
Well, when you run across a behemoth in Fallout 3, you pretty much need that thing with you.
That's a good point. There's been no behemoths in New Vegas at all.
I use the Gauss rifle on behemoths.
Yeah, but it just plinks them.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can safely say I'm going to miss New Vegas as much as I missed the Capital Wastelands, wandering them with my shotgun and dog.
Well, you missed it enough that you insisted that I get the game, and then you guided me through the thing.
Yeah, and you haven't looked back since, and now you come to the Mojave. I do wonder what's in store in Fallout 4. I kind of want a reboot of Fallout 1. That's what I would really enjoy.
I would too.
That might be cool.
They could reset a lot of the lore and make things fit in with Fallout 3 and New Vegas a bit better. And let's face it, the plot and the story of Fallout 1 were great.
So you could actually, you could even, although it'd be kind of stupid, you could even ditch the future history and decide to start over from scratch.
Yeah, and I guess, one of the problems with where they're at right now is there's too much community in New Vegas. It's a very lively place. There's a lot going on. After you kick out the NCR and the Legion and kill House and rule it for yourself, it's going to be very prosperous. The place is rich with everything you could possibly want. It can manufacture a lot of stuff like gun runners. It's got a lot of caravans, trade routes. Now it has a lot of allies outside the Mojave region.
Well, you've got civilization is back now, so there's no wasteland. It's civilization.
Yes, so the wasteland.
For that matter, you'll have law and order shortly because you whacked out all of the punks out of the area. So you're going to have law and order. There won't be anybody to go out and whack.
Yeah, so the wastelands are gone, and I think Fallout needs wastelands.
Well, you could always decide. They wouldn't have to do a full reset. Another thing you could do is to just set a new game slightly earlier in the time sequence somewhere else.
Yeah, there's been talk of the Commonwealth.
Right. And you wouldn't have to set it in 2081 or 2090. What is it? 21? No, 22. I'm sorry. 2281 is when this one took place, right? You wouldn't have to go to 2281. You could decide to go to, I don't know, 2250 or 2200 somewhere else and say, okay, now we're going to go back in time and look at this other region, back when it was still a wasteland.
I think they need to work time travel into the game at some point.
That'll confuse things.
Especially if you can go back to just before the war started and influence how the war plays out.
That's now a book instead of a video game.
No, well, yes, it could be a book, but that would definitely be funny in a video game.
Yeah, it would.
Especially if, the ultimate outcome is nukes will go off and it's a matter of where. It's a bit like that giant laser cannon on the alien ship in Fallout 3. You got no idea what you nuked when you shot that thing.
No, you just whack something. Who knows what?
And there's a big mushroom cloud, and that's that.
That was actually the only good part of that whole DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the samurai sword was pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, but I didn't have melee skills, so I didn't care.
My melee was very low for my final character in New Vegas, even though I was running around with a shish kebab from time to time.
Actually, the last character I had in New Vegas had so many skills, either maxed or close to maxed, and I still had melee down around 30.
It was melee and small arms. Melee and unarmed that were my two unfully upgraded things. I think that it would be possible to get everything upgraded now if you mapped it out well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had unarmed at 100, and the reason I pushed that up was that my first experience with dead money really blew when I didn't have unarmed. So I pushed unarmed up.
Yeah, I suspect that I might have been able to sneak through a large quantity of this particular playthrough. But it's interesting. The tunnelers, if you shoot them with flares, they run away.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because they don't like flashbangs.
They attack you if you use flashbangs.
Yeah, but they don't like them.
Yeah, they really, really don't like you if you use flashbangs. But if you use the flare gun, yeah, they run away, and you've got a chance to regroup. And the toughest part in this game for me was going through that abandoned mine.
I had the Saturnite heated power fist, and I just beat the crap out of them without a whole lot of trouble.
They were really tricky for me. Of course, the death claws were annoying.
Well, death claws in New Vegas are always annoying. When I went back and did a playthrough of Fallout 3 recently to try to pick up one last achievement, I was amazed at how much easier the death claws were.
Oh, you shit them in the head. Now, the Lear, on your advice, I started using the Lear, and by the end of the playthrough, Joshua Graham's armor was destroyed. I just dropped it somewhere, and my Lear was broken. So.
Yep. Well, yeah, mine too. But it's a definitely good weapon for that whole.
I've got plenty more back home. It's okay. So, final closing thoughts. Are you going to be playing Skyrim, Austin?
Yeah. I'm pre-ordering it tonight, actually.
Yeah, I think anyone who's a fan of the Fallout series is probably pretty interested in Skyrim at this point.
Yep.
If you're not, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I got interested in Oblivion, so this summer I went out and bought it and fell in love with it. So I've pretty much beaten the hell out of that game.
Oblivion's a bit weird to me after playing Fallout 3 and now New Vegas. So the improvement over Fallout 3 to New Vegas was the game mechanics and measurements and balance was really tight. You know, all of the skills actually did stuff. In Fallout 3, half the skills were useless, right? And going from Fallout 3 back to
the leveling system in Oblivion was just bizarre too.
Well, and going back to Oblivion from Fallout 3, the speech system is just a joke.
Oh, that speech wheel thing? Oh,
yeah, it's pathetic. Combat is, unless you're using a ranged weapon or spell, just don't bother. You know, you don't go up in melee in that game. It's too weird and awkward. And yeah, and also, the faces are terrible. But also the other thing that really was jarring to me was random encounter attacks were just so random and often quite devastating when I started playing because I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to level up. There was a lot going on that just wasn't explained and wasn't clear. And the same was true of Fallout 3 to an extent, but for some reason things clicked when I walked down to that wasteland.
The perks that weren't clear. You leveled up pretty clearly.
The skills made no sense to begin with. Special didn't help until much later. And probably my second playthrough, I understood special. And yeah, maybe I'm just an idiot, don't I? But they've got the skill system in Skyrim. Doing stuff levels you up in doing that stuff. So that's going to be interesting. Very much looking forward to that.
One final announcement we need to make is, while this is going to be the last podcast for that podcast, I'll probably put out one final 1 or 2 minute thing when we come up with a name for the Skyrim podcast, just so that people will know what to follow.
Yeah, we'll have details on the Facebook page and the iTunes subscription, and that'll be that. We'll see you there. We'll see you in Skyrim.
Yep. So let's bring it on home.
Well, there's only one way to do that.
Got feedback? Send it to jarober@gmail.com or visit the website at jarober.com/blog/fnv.ssp.